Gragas, but that Kassadin wrecked you guys.
So
they're already banning away Inox's Kog'Maw. They keep the Hecarim ban. Those stay the same. Here's the Sejuani ban. Yep. So same bans as Game 3. TDK say, you know, Annie's the champion who matters more. We'll leave Sivir up for you guys.
I love watching the expression on, that's actually NME's coach, Brad, or Lazy is his screen name. When that first pick comes out, he always seems a little bit surprised by that first pick.
I don't think anyone's surprised to see these three champions first.
Because you also have to pivot off of the first pick, though.
Sure.
Because if they take something that's contested, you're just like, oh, okay, well, we have to kind of change our strategy. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
And you can see in that game previously where they picked the Zac first, I believe.
Right.
They were like, everybody got really slow with what they're picking. They're like, okay, wait a second. And he looked surprised there, not because they took something away, because he was like, whoa, they took the Zac. What do we want?
Well, that's the thing, is like these three champions, those are the three contested picks in this series. And when one of them's not picked, you're like, okay, now which two of the three do we want? Because they don't get the choice here. They're like, okay, we'll just grab the Aurelia Sivir, no big deal. Like, that's a very easy champ select to go through for NME eSports. TDK, of those three champions, they wanted the Annie. Now, I can't imagine they picked Gnar again for Seraph. That was miserable last time. They still want to get the Zac. That's fine. And it seems also TDK, I expect it to be mid lane Ezreal, by the way, here for Kyle. He's been good with it before, and it seems like they're hopping off the Lissandra chain.
It would appear so, but
there's always a chance it pivots.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what they end up doing with it, but they'll have to show what it is before Inox locks his mid laner in.
Yep.
I do like the Annie first pick for TDK. It's that engage that they need. It also tests, does body drop play something that's good against it? He might go back to the Morgana here, but can he go on something else? Is it going to be the Alistar? Is he able to have a counter to it? Because Smoothie was forced to counter it previously with the Alistar. Now he's testing body drop. Also, Smoothie has been on point. This whole set. His engages have been really good, and that is a support Nautilus for body drop.
Okay, so his, I believe, 4th champion played now in the Challenger Series is going to be a Nautilus now here. Annie, Nami, Janna, Thresh, no, his 5th.
But still, that gives him, like, he was a big Thresh player. I talked to him before, and I've seen him. He was on Infinite Odds, where he was close to the LCS with Otter, and he thought he should have made it then. And he was always a really big Thresh player. It was kind of like kind of a diamond in the rough lost when Bunny Fufu was in Challenger, Sheep was in Challenger, and all these people just started coming up as Thresh mains. So he was really good at hooking people, and now he's got that Nautilus, very meta champion, lots of lockdown. So they're going to have to draft a relatively high damage mid laner here for Inox. The Nidalee definitely shouldn't be something he's looking to go back to this game, but they're going to need something high damage. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Kassadin again.
Yeah, Kassadin maybe. It's going to be the exact same matchup. Kyle does go back to Lissandra 4 games in a row, but Kassadin on the table. You ask, is this what NME eSports want to play with? This will be almost the exact same comp if they do. Just sub out Annie for Nautilus. Otherwise, TDK, they pick a better top lane matchup in the Shyvana versus Aurelia. Much, much better choice here in my opinion. Otherwise, a different AD carry in Luigi G playing Ezreal now. Still an engaging support here with Annie for Smoothie. NME eSports, here's the game where if you win, you're in. Inox, what are you going to play against this Lissandra?
Well, he played Kassadin last time, and he had a Rek'Sai at his side with Trashy last time too. So I would not be surprised if it's just more of the same for him, because he can also catch the Ezreal and chase him down. I think it's a great pick here in this comp. He's going to go for it.
Well, it's what Crumb said at the very start in the best of 5. If it wins, keep the comp. Play the same stuff. Make sure they can react to you. TDK have yet to show that they can win when Inox gets to counterpick mid lane and be a high-impact team-fighting mage. Inox on his 4th Kassadin game of the spring split. And this is the comp that NME eSports think will bring themselves into the North American League of Legends Championship Series. TDK got to adapt over and over and over again. Here's their 4th rendition. They've still got a team fight comp. They've still got a lot of upfront damage. And a much better matchup for their typical carry in Seraph. This is going to be TP Smite Shyvana. Will not get pushed out of lane nearly as hard. Should have a much better matchup up against Flares. I think that is something that TDK very much needs in order to win this game. As Champ Select ends, the coaches give final parting remarks to their teams. They meet for the handshake. And this game could be history in the making as the camera blurs out and goes to our faces. In a world where one team makes it into the LCS, the teams are loading onto the Rift, so start updating your votes by sending either hashtag TDK win or hashtag NME win to @LOL eSports. In a world where we will read them out loud to you guys, or at least show the vote on the screen. That's this world very much. Here we go, guys. This is the make or break game. Is NME eSports going to be joining the LCS or not? Here's game 4.
Of course, if TDK do go down here, they get to play in the promotion tournament against Winter Fox or Dignitas. So they still have a chance to get into the LCS. But you're looking at one of these two teams is going to be in the LCS at the end of today.
Will it be enemy or enemy's enemy?
Ha, 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 ha.
What are you, Nunubot?
Ha. No, because Nunubot actually takes dancing lessons from Freak.
I see you could use some.
I could. I just do what feels less awkward than what I was doing a second ago.
I'm surprised you still talk often. Flares and Seraph in a 1v1 on the top lane. We saw this one before. This time Seraph feels a lot better.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Flares.
That's the damage check right there.
Why even turn back to auto? Seraph if you W's like... All right. I like actually that ward's really good. It's going to spot a Krug start if it happens. Now, we had seen Flares last game on Aurelia manage to start Wolves and take that camp pretty safely. Seraph, of course, can easily jungle for a while on this Ruby Crystal start Shyvana. Interestingly, both top laners will scale very well as they get tankier and tankier. Just being an auto-attacking bruiser becomes very nice.
Every game, people on these two teams are just going for less information. They're just doing battle lines, and they're not going for that deep invade to see where the lane swap is.
And that ward will not see. Very smart by Otter to hug the top wall. Hangs up by the mural. I like it. Appreciates art here.
I was trying to figure out what that is, and I'm like, oh, it's just how the game goes, right? Turrets fall, then you have tier 2s, and there's the Nexus. I don't know why it's in the middle of the Rift, but...
It's in the top center.
Actually, I have no idea what that is.
It's okay. It's going to be NME eSports starting out with the double jungle here. Seraph will be taking out the Raptors, even with a smite, in case he does walk by a ward. And also because you want to smite to clear the camp, of course. Smoothie, once again, now can he steal a camp away?
Oh,
Trashy might have nightmares of this from before.
Here comes Seraph, though. Seraph is also on his way towards this.
Trashy might get stopped entirely here. Smoothie, you got to land the stun? No, just some damage with the Qs. Trashy, at 200 health, is in a really bad spot.
Oh,
Seraph
boy.
is trying to push him around. Flare's going to rejoin, though. This is a very close one.
It's a smite top laner, though, and they don't have smite.
Well, both smites are down. It's just a matter of damage output. But either way, Kez is getting to jungle right now. And NME eSports is not.
This is what happens when you start jungling on the weak side of the map.
That's very true. And it gets punished. Well done, TDK, to collapse their team in time and punish all of this. Lane swap comes in. NME eSports wants the 2-on-2. They shove out the top lane, and they recall the Sivir back. Flares TP's up. Top lane, by the way, is... I believe it's a freeze. It's close. But either way, both going to teleport in there. So
Oh, man.
similar amounts gained on both sides.
Trashy's kind of getting shafted this game because now if he goes for their blue, that's also, once again,
Fairly weak.
not a strong side of his map.
Nope.
He'd be up against the smite top lane Shyvana because they swapped the lanes back, so he doesn't even have his AD carry top lane by the enemy blue. Granted, it is Rek'Sai. He doesn't need blue on her, so that's the only kind of caveat here, is that he's not in a horrible position.
Yeah.
But he didn't get to jungle. He didn't get that level 3 very early, so his early game impact is lower. So Inox is going to have to fare for himself in this matchup.
Exactly. Trash is essentially, in overall power, down a camp. And that is, of course, pretty relevant. Right, slows your ganks down, slows your gold income. Good things happen for TDK here. We watch the 2-on-2 matchup. Nice Q comes in, smacks Smoothie on both sides. Trashy going to be pretty safe in this clear, though. Will hit 3 off this.
There's a lot of pressure in that bottom lane. They're punishing the Ezreal for not having a lot of wave clear, trying to keep him underneath the turret. So Louis GG doing his best to CS under the turret. He's doing a good job of it.
I like what Seraph's doing, though. He's hard shoving the wave. Might miss a minion or two, but he takes Scuttler for himself to get his own ward control. He wards Tribrush. There's actually no easy route in for Trashy. There are ways, but They're just harder.
That's one of the great things about the Smite TP top lane, is because you always get the Scuttler on cooldown. You just keep going for it. You shove the wave. Once you get Bomb, Cinder.
Oh, hold on.
But look at this. Oh, he got the root!
The Ignite's on as well. I think right at the same time as the Summoner Heal. I don't know which one got mitigated, but either way, it's going to be a rough road for Luigi G. Got snuck on by Body Drop. Yeah, this
big Nautilus just came out of nowhere.
From the brush. I'm surprised it hides him.
Got the hook. Ooh. Nope. Not quite. Both these supports have been having kind of mismatched games. Smoothie's been having a really good series, and Body Drop, he'll show up in the team fight, but look at this, Trashy. He's trying to make a team fight happen in the bottom. It's going for the gank, but Kez is here too.
Well, Smoothie would have a stun with an EW.
Oh, he knows Kez is here.
In the front of the brush. Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun. He went away.
Oh.
They don't know that.
Oh,
they didn't know how close
back.
they came to danger. Enemy's still shoving it as hard as they can.
And he's going away.
Okay, whatever.
It's a shoved up lane, and he knows that Zach was around that area. Now
they really know he's there.
Zach is going to show himself, and they saw the back from Ezreal, so they have the information that they need. He's going to go get Scuttler. But look at this. Inox by himself is winning this mid lane. He's 14 CS up already over Kyle, who got a blue buff early.
Oh, it's true. They gave Kyle the blue because Kez already had one. Pretty cute stuff there. Yeah, it's still miserable. They thought maybe this adaptation will work. No, still a really hard matchup. I understand the Hecarim ban, but the Gnar, or not the Gnar, sorry, the Gragas, I'm just not certainly sold on. This Inox Cassidy having a very good game so far.
Yeah, they talked about not banning Trashy out, but the Gragas gives him early game pressure comparable to Rek'Sai.
True.
And then arguably better tank late game.
Yeah.
So the fact that he'll have that team fight presence, and you can see even on the Rek'Sai, he's getting those multiple man knockups. If you give him that Gragas, it's pretty much a death sentence. He gets the good early game, he gets the good team fights. It's basically a Trashy champion all around.
Yeah, it is. So they're going to keep that ban because of that fear right here. Flair's looking to trade in. Level 6 on both. Otter gets some free mana. Luigi do the same with his tier. Small combat lead for the enemy eSports AD carry either way. But the lane actually, despite a couple of good plays by Body Drop, honestly all he did was trade summoners.
Kez.
Not much of a lead. Kez looking top lane. Flair's looking at trying to trade with Seraph. But by the way, in comes Zach. In comes First Blood. That goes to Seraph.
Oh, the hook into Louis.
Yeah, level 3 right there.
Patchy.
Louis at 5 has to jump away. He's fine. He's fine. Just First Blood for TDK. Nicely done. Good job, Kez.
This was what I was expecting, too, from TDK coming into this series. Seraph is pretty much your star player, the guy who's going to carry you from the top lane. He's been trying to avoid ganks all series long because he doesn't have a flash. But the fact that he doesn't have a flash means that they will pressure him more often because there's more kill potential. So gank for his lane, counter gank for his lane, turn the fights around, or just get the flat-out gank and give him the advantage. He just finished Cinderhold 7 minutes into the game.
Yeah. And you definitely got to consider that Seraph's going to feel really good about this now that he's got the early Cinder Hook, the ability to farm camps all day, all night, and keep shoving in this wave. We've got very little threat. Kyle in a bad spot. Nice flash knockup comes in. The Ignite layers. Kyle burns his ult, but who even cares? It's going to be Inox taking the kill with a Whiff Rock. And they're going to trade advantages now mid laner for top laner.
And that's what I expect from NME. Camp the mid for NME. Trashy, Inox have great synergy. Get him rolling. Get that carry rolling for your team. And then I expect TDK to gank for Seraph and get his champions rolling, because that's where they need these big advantages. If Flair can hold up, then, well, we'll talk about that. But look at, speaking of advantages,
big Ignite. Wow, execute on a minion actually gives a bit of health back to Otter. He survived with a summoner heal. Bodies drop, helping to keep his teammate alive. Nice all in there, but overall it's a lane advantage to enemy eSports with their CS here.
Smoothie's just having really great lane presence in this series. I'm actually very impressed by the way he's been playing, regardless of the champion that he's on.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. Smoothie's been great. Flares and Seraph again in the battle, but it's a battle I feel like Seraph
got the Cinder Hulk.
Feels pretty good about. Flares, though, in short engagements, right?
Yeah.
He gets like 3 Sheen procs, and there's a bit of a root on a Smoothie. Oh, he did not attack him.
Didn't get it off. It's a little hard to get sometimes, because
he W'd and stopped his own auto.
It's got a big wind-up animation.
Yeah, it does.
W is an auto attack reset, so if you're in the middle of an auto and you hit it, but we'll talk about that in a second.
More happening again. Otter pops the spell shield and the ulti. Can they knock him down? The answer is yes. Louis GG now in a battle with Body Drop, does not take damage from this Nautilus. Trashy's nearby, but does not have flash. Chilling Spike, Q comes out, but still cannot reach the opponents. It's a 1-for-0.
He's just going to have to clear this wave now. And Inox looked like he was coming towards there, so Kyle immediately shoves the wave up, and Inox now has that blue buff for himself.
And overall, though, it's a very interesting game. These lanes are very mismatched. Top lane, huge for Seraph. You can see he can now proxy waves, take down Krugs. Proxy wave, take the red buff. Proxy waves, take some Raptors. It's easy to be Seraph right now in this game. There's very little threat on him. Meanwhile, mid lane, great for Inox.
Proxy wave clear. And that's the thing is Aurelia doesn't have a whole lot of wave clear.
Yep. This is what I'm expecting.
All single target damage. So this gives him free reign over this jungle.
Look at that.
This is how you should be playing Smite top laners.
That's what Seraph wanted from game one. The Hecarim put a gigantic wrench in those plans. But now they're looking to maybe knock him down here. Dragon's Descent used. Flares is on the chase, jumps on in, but nothing else to do here. Yeah, great, you burn an ulti. Who cares?
He had to blow it there, though. And it's actually a relatively low cooldown because you get that Fury back so quickly, or the Rage.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back to Kyle.
Kyle, yeah, he does have the ulti. No flash. There's the knockup. Ease over the wall. Gets there. Inox to land a slow. He needs one more Rift Arc to get the kill. Flashes for it. An ulti in from Kyle. Trash is going to be the one to take the kill. If he can get the Q. Oh, no, he gets ignited. Trash is going to die under the turret. And Kyle outplays the gank. Oh, my God.
With minimal mana going as well. Just enough for an
E. Man.
And then after that, barely enough. That Lissandra passive.
Yep. It's deceptive.
Oh, man.
Well, that looked like the wave for it.
That looked like it was going to be pretty easy for NME.
Yeah, it did.
But the overextension, the overaggression for it cost them. And now it's Cinder Hulk for Trashy this game. On the Rex side. He doesn't.
All right.
If he had a longsword there, would have killed him.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. That's the payment you make by going tank instead of fighter, is your early game pressure is lower. And I mean, I still feel like if you're buying Cinder Hulk, you should probably just be playing like Nautilus or Volibear or something and not Rek'Sai.
Yeah, I talked to him before, and like I said, he said it's 50-50, depending on the game. But that's the thing is, I feel like Rek'Sai is good with Cinder Hulk, but I also feel like she's really good with Warrior, because you get that early aggression. It's really the style you're playing for, and it just looks like he's trying to play for late game right now, as opposed to being the facilitator of the action, which I don't know if it's going to help him in this game.
I mean, he's still trying to be a facilitator. It's why you pick Rek'Sai, right? Like, she's still this great early game jungler, but when you lose out a lot of the damage from not going Warrior, you just have less early game than you might have otherwise. You talked about the valid ban on Gragas. You're seeing part of the reason why. Flare's getting chased around by Seraph. Won't quite die, but flames on top of flames on top of flames makes it pretty easy for Seraph here. And once again looks for Kyle. Nothing else to get.
Rod of Ages completed for Inox. Gonna have that scaling up. Flares doesn't even full heal. He wants this wave. Kez
wants bot lane.
Oh, Louis GG gave that away by walking forward.
Oh, darn.
Walked a little too far forward. Too much of a tell. When an Ezreal starts walking towards you, past the minion line.
Yeah. I don't even. Seraph, you missed one.
Oh.
Buddy.
Boom.
Hit the skill shot, baby. All right, Flare's going to land a bit of damage back on Seraph, but there's still just so little threat on knocking down this Shyvana. Looks like this is the matchup Seraph should have had all along. And I mean, I really just keep asking myself, what would have happened if they picked this champion in game 3? Because so much of that game was Flares being massive over Seraph. This is not happening here. Look at the gold advantages here. 1,000 gold for Seraph. Equal or close to equal almost everywhere else. Right? Mid laners and junglers, they kind of equal out. But it's a 1,000 gold lead for TDK off their top lane matchup.
Man, and I'm thinking back to it too, because when we were seeing Seraph last week, there's like this guy playing top lane Italy. He finally looks in his element. Back when he was on CLG, he's forced to play top lane tanks. This guy is just going to carry his team, and he's back on Shyvana, champion that he was playing with CLG.
But it's a much bigger carry style.
Yeah,
though.
We've come full circle. But granted, it is a better carry now.
Yeah. You have the ability to proxy waves and get extra farm and overlevel your opponents. The flash engage comes in, hits on her. In comes Kaz, nice flash away, and the spell shield hits True Shot Barrage. But now Body Drop locked up inside the enemy team. Stuns Smoothie. Maybe not the best target because the still kill comes through.
Inox looking down bottom, and so is Trashy, but they're going to get nothing for this.
Not at all. Well, Rek'Sai ulti burn, just a blue buff now in the eyes of NME eSports. And TDK, you know, off the Zac steal somewhat. This is paying off. Kez, highest scope participation on the team. The Cinder Hulk Rek'Sai not getting much done. NME eSports, they're looking to chance a dragon take off the recall of TDK's bottom lane.
This top lane,
No,
if Flares dies, this is going to be really
Challenging
bad.
fight, dude.
He's got flash, though. Is he going to blow it?
He's going to have to.
Oh, man.
That's challenging smite right
this
there.
This is huge, though.
Yeah.
This is huge. He doesn't have TP. Seraph has TP, and Seraph is winning this lane. This matchup top was tilted by Kez visiting it once, capitalizing immediately on it. Seraph can now be left alone in this top lane 100%, and he's going to win this matchup. So Kez ganks other sides of the map. He ganks bottom so that there's no assistance top. He pulls everybody to the bot lane. So now Seraph basically gets to be in a one-on-one world against Flares.
Yeah.
And he's already got the edge.
Yeah, and the edge is getting bigger. 1,500, 1,400 gold lead now. It's getting worse and worse. And you saw NME eSports attempt to tilt the mid lane matchup. I mean, it could have been a lane versus a lane, right? This could have been a 2-0 Kassadin, maybe even a 3-0 Kassadin. But Kyle got away. He outplayed the gank, and life got easy. Louis forced a flash away from Nautilus Rek'Sai. And we just have not seen these ganks, unfortunately for Trashy, work anymore. TDK looking to make this a game 5, and they are on the road for that. 2,000 gold lead. NME eSports have a lot of room still to grow. And they don't even necessarily outscale anymore.
You see a lot of wards purchased for Seraph, looking to just continue pushing the top lane. Because if Aurelia overextends, she's just going to get chased down. Low cooldown, he's level 11.
Oh, ulti comes in. Inox in a pretty bad spot. Flashes Riftwalks. Does not quite get caught, but then he does. The flash W from Kyle. This game is slipping away from NME eSports fast, and TDK looking to make a statement in this game.
Trying to make it go to a game 5. Make it so that both teams are one game away. But it's a 3K, 2.5K gold difference between these two teams. And Flares can't really lane anymore. That's the big thing here is Flares, we talked about his CS differential against Seraph last game, was crushing him off of the early game. And now, they picked that Aurelia early, had the Shyvana waiting for it. And with that advantage from Kez that Seraph was gifted, he now has to pretty much double jungle. Oh man, is that going to be enough?
Well, Flares goes in for Seraph. The guy has the ulti. Can they outplay the Dragon's Descent? Nope. Don't even have to. Seraph just walks away cleanly off of boots too. NME eSports looking for the bottom lane once again. This bot lane, despite the kills, is still winning in CS. There's the ulti in. It's going to be the... Oh man, that's the big Tabor's Otter stays to fight back, and they will pick up one. Flares matches the teleport, and this could be a whitewash. It's a 2-for-1 so far.
Body drop.
But make that a 2-for-2 as Seraph gets slowed down. Are you serious? Body drop lives, and Flares might make something happen. In comes Inox, and they get it. NME eSports on the road back in.
Overextension there. They're going to get this turret off the back of it too. Kyle in the mid lane doing as much work as he can at the same time. He's not going to get that mid lane turret. Inox is just going to get back there in time.
Wow, that fight was necessary for NME eSports. Every gank kept working for TDK. NME finally gets a turnaround.
And that advantage from Seraph in the top lane, it's not completely gone, but Flare's got an opportunity to not have to fight Seraph one-on-one.
That individual leads back to 1K gold. The team lead, now under 1,000 as well.
Yep. Oh, Louis GG.
Sees him.
Oh.
Her.
What was that? It was nothing. It's just a land shark. Yeah, just go back to farm.
Just a land shark. And a girl with telepathic control over blades. That's kind of scary.
Yeah. I don't think that is...
Yeah.
No,
well, I mean, they've got the
it's
2-1 lead in the series, and I mean, it is a close fight, though.
Now knocking down this top turret, invading Seraph's lane. Kez looking for an engage now, though. They're going to go in.
Risky. Otto's going to get hit, knocked into the wall. Smoothie joins the fray with a lot of stuns, but the turret goes down first. Ignite is on. The chase for Otter.
Oh, the crit!
Does get the crit. The Infinity Edge 1 out of 5 finally falls through. And that is a kill, 1-for-1. Turret, though, still going down. Trashy gets the Scuttler. The cowardly Scuttler.
Yeah. And And now Seraph gets to push the bottom lane again. He doesn't have a Blade of the Ruined King this time.
He actually can't push well against Flares. Of course, Sunfire Cape or Juggernaut, not Juggernaut, Cinderhulk will pull turret aggro.
Yeah, he can't stand nearby. Proxying the wave is actually a really good strategy for him.
Right, the best way you can push is, proxy the wave, take some jungle camps away.
He has to ward up for that, though. Against Flares, though, Flares is Trinity 4 Spike.
And a Cowl.
He has a Cowl now, too, so he has that magic resistance.
That's actually really big, I think. We'll see, maybe NME eSports can scrape this game together. I'm still not sure how the super late game goes, though. Seraph is going to be a big threat. Challenging Smite, we heard about it on the desk, but I think it's the biggest reason why TP Smite top lane is good. It's not, I mean, these all matter, right? Cinderhulk matters, the Gromp buff matters, but Challenging Smite is probably one of the best late game teamfight summoners.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Ignite and Exhaust in one on a 1.5 second, like a 1 minute cooldown.
So here's how I always thought about these spells is Ignite is based off of your level, right? You're doing more damage based off your level. So that's for you and when you're snowballing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exhaust shuts down the other person, shuts down the other snowball person.
Yeah.
So you're basically
taking
away if they're ahead, you just shut them down even harder. So that's what Challenging Smite does, is it makes it so that if you get ahead, you get even further ahead because you're shutting down a carry.
Yeah. And if they're ahead, you lower the damage output and they're not quite as explosive. Here we go, the top lane fight one more time. Challenging Smite and Dragon's Ascent, but Seraph's W is down, meaning all I can do is slowly burn him with Cinderhulk, and there's just no chase here. Flares can get away from these as long as he uses his stun correctly. But Dragon is on the field. No TP for either top laner, which is exactly what NME eSports want. They don't want Seraph to be in these fights. And with Inox pushing around Kyle, they're going to get this.
It's going to be the second Dragon for NME. Kez is going to have nothing to say about it. Luigi G does have an ultimate. What's going to be? No.
A little too early. Good smite away, and it's going to be 2 Dragons to 0 for NME eSports. Turret killing pressure actually might matter a lot. This is, to me, a pretty split push focused game.
Yeah, oh yeah. Seraph's pretty much going to stay in the top lane until his TP's up, and then he's just going to go. He's never going to group with the team because it's going to affect his CS and his farm. He needs to stay ahead of Flares.
Kez, yeah, not a lot he can do about this one. Otter is short range, and he pulled Turret Dagger, unfortunately. But you can see they're knocking this down pretty quickly.
Looks like they are looking for a 5v5 here in the mid lane.
And Seraph, no rage right now. Can't turn into the big dragon. Mega Shyvana, I guess.
Luden's Echo completed for Inox.
Yeah. Gives him poke. Oddly enough.
Poke gives him the burst.
A lot of health down. That's about a third of the health bar for a Q from Kassadin. That is pre-Sork Shoes. Once again, check these gold leads. Seraph remains 1K up. Otherwise, very small leads back and forth.
Yeah, Inox can pretty much QRE kill Smoothie.
You've got W.
Doesn't have to W.
You don't need to bring the crew to kill him?
Nope.
That's what KREW spells. Or QREW, whatever.
With a Q?
Close enough.
He's going to check his character sheet, and then, oh, look at this. They go in.
Kyle loses a lot of health in this one. Kez trying to play a bit of dissonance, and that's going to do the case for them. But Smoothie forced to flash away off the re-engage. Stays alive. Kez flashing out of this one as well.
Where's Seraph? He's off on the right side here.
Looks like he's got nothing to do, though. He's got the full rage bar, but no engage. Bit of wave clear from Ezreal, and this will be some time until the wave comes up. It's low on health, but looks like no one to defend it. Means this will be a turret kill. Seraph gets locked up, but they can't easily kill the tank. They will knock down the turret first, and Seraph at half will walk away safely.
Very even game right now. 35,000 gold between both teams, just teetering back and forth. A lot of turrets for TDK to still take. But the thing is, they're just doing split push. It's all Seraph knocking down these turrets. They're putting him in the bottom lane, trying to get him some CS, push it out, and also get to that turret. But Flares is actually having a good answer to this, surprisingly.
Yeah, Flares is doing an amazing job of staying afloat in a matchup that he has no business winning anymore. We've seen how those fights go. It ends with Flares running away with his tail between his legs, and yet he's holding parity with Seraph.
Seraph is now going for the Blade of the Ruined King. Because last time he got that second item, he went Randuin's second now.
I think he needs it to survive the damage output that Aurelia can deal. a bunch of true damage. The attack speed, slow, and health, I think, a very big deal. I do think it makes sense for the one-on-one matchup.
Yeah. Now he's going to have multiple slows. Randuin's,
yeah,
then he's going to be able to Blade of the Ruined King and keep her near him. Which is what this matchup is all about. He needs to be able to 1v1 that Aurelia with the challenging smite.
Spirit Visage done. Lower cooldown stun, a pretty big deal here for Flares. Kez gets the Raptor buff. And as we sit in this game with the smallest of gold leads, it's 2 dragons to 0, and otherwise a basically equal game. What are the points of pressure anymore? Despite the ganks, Otter and Body Drop are still a threat in this game. Seraph would have pressure onto Flares, but he's going to take the push into the bot lane. Smoothie and Luigi G are here, though, and Trashy's put some wards down. But TDK keep the vision pretty clear. Flares is pretty alone down here.
And Luigi G just hit his Muramana power spike about a minute and a half ago at 23. So he has a lot of damage in this mid game. He's got the Muramana, he's got the Trinity Force. Seraph looking at the top lane. Nobody's here to answer him just yet. Otter's coming up. Oh, Flares, he's not alone.
He tries to turn it around, but guess what? Kez is around in this fight. Ult comes across, but Luigi D still dies. 2-on-1, and Flares gets the kill. He can stun as well, by the way. Kez gonna take that if he's in range. And that's gonna be a lot of damage coming through on this poor Zac. He's gonna be soon split into boblets. Meanwhile, Seraph in a 1v2 of his own in the top lane takes a turret down, but will die for that sin. And I think Kez split into pieces. It's 3 kills in a row, and NME eSports making a statement right now.
And Kyle still shoving the mid lane, and there's not even a turret there left for him to take. Not being active on these side lanes is really going to hurt TDK if they're not able to collapse.
Absolutely true. There's really nothing going well.
There's pressure all across the map now in favor of NME. They're shoving top, middle, and bottom at the same time. So they're going to get all this experience, all this wave clear, all this gold, and they're going to knock down that bottom tier 2 turret.
Bottom tier 2 is gone. Top lane can be pushed into the tier 2 mid lane. The exact same thing. This team can recall safely before the rest of TDK respawns. A lot of control now for NME eSports sitting. You got it. Don't worry. Trust me, it's dead. Oh wait, are you serious?
No, they toggled vision on you. Don't worry about it. It's dead.
That was the other team. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you had my back observers. Oh. All right, we good. Red buff goes over to TDK. And Trashy with a bit of a greedy recall.
In the middle of vision.
Yeah, why not?
There's 20 seconds on the dragon. Everybody from NME backing
convenient.
So they can cash in on the turrets. You can see IE, Last Whisper, Luden's Echo, Rod of Ages.
Weird.
Inox.
He bought a... No, he's buying part of a death cap.
There you go. Needlessly large rod completed.
I think I'd want him to have sword shoes, though. Magic Coin's a pretty good stat at this point in the game, but either way, TDK are here first. Seraph rejoined the team already. He didn't push the bot the rest of the way out. They want this dragon. It's a bit of a surround for NME eSports. This is the fight. This is the one. These teams got to win. In they go. Trashy wants to steal. He doesn't get it. It's go to the blue team and the fight begins. Kyle on the backside. A bunch of bursts on the front side, and Smoothie is the first one to go down. Otter forced out by Seraph, but still being chased. The enemy AD carry will fall over, and it's actually more kills going in for TDK. Flares in the front lines getting whatever he can. Kyle about to get chunked out. Now Kez maybe the target. Seraph, though, still incredibly disruptive. He's going for Flares, his second smite this fight. One more hit will get him. He gets it. Seraph and Kez just brawling everybody, and the fight goes to TDK.
These poor AD carries are just getting annihilated, and then it's the tanks just sitting around waiting for the damage dealers to come back in. Seraph chased Otter out of the fight, killed him, and then had to have Kyle survive. Kyle ulties himself just to stay alive long enough to bait NME to stay in the pit with him.
Blade of the Ruined King Seraph did a whole ton of work that game in that fight.
Watching this again, Seraph is just going to do a ton of work onto Otter. He's extremely fast. He's got his ultimate pop, but it's all about this damage. The engage there from Smoothie is actually really good. That backline stun sets Seraph up for that initial burst of damage, and now it's all about surviving. Just stay alive so Seraph can come back into this and help clean up. Kez and Kyle buying time. You see there, popping the Zonias immediately after he ulties himself too, just so he's got vulnerability for as long as possible.
I think he actually should have stunned someone else, though, because it actually let Luigi G get chased down. Like, they just switched over and hit the AD carry, and I think Kyle actually with a bit of a bad target selection here, but overall, though, A fight that went to TDK because they finally got a dragon kill. And 25 minutes in, that dragon extra damage is a pretty big deal. Nice quick sweep there, and Sivir getting tons of farm.
It's the damage check time. See the duel come out, and who's going to win it? Nope, not even going to go for it.
Not even going to try.
Oh, but here's the thing, is if Flares goes too far forward and they collapse around him, it's going to be like, where did this Shyvana come from?
Flare's really aggressive here. Smoothie gets away. He's like, you know what?
That was,
I'm afraid.
I just wanted the board. Oh, where did this Shyvana come from?
Blade of the Rune King challenging Smite. Here we go. Flares nowhere to really run. No flash. But Trashy showing up is going to be enough to deter TDK.
Unfortunately, I don't think he landed his E there to actually get the percent HP shred.
Okay.
It would have been a little bit more damage off of that. It's an immense amount, 2.5% maximum HP as magic damage on hit.
And Blade of the Rune King's 8% current health per hit, so you can knock down pretty much anyone with a build like this.
As physical.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Challenging Smite is flat true damage over time, so good luck itemizing well on this one. Top lane under fire, though. NME eSports really wants to take this one down. LuiGG gets chunked out by Cassid and Sivir. But they're afraid. They know things could go wrong.
From Seraph. He's trying to flank.
Can they cut him off? He's got Dragon's Descent. Will he lock in the entire team?
He wants Otter.
Losing a lot of health, goes in for Otter, a lot of damage dealt, and yes,
oh my God.
He can almost take down the AD carry. Kez does it with Smite in the middle of the air, and it's a 5-on-4. Kyle on the back lines pops the ult onto Flares, who doesn't even care about stuns. More kills coming through. He solos the back line, looks for Smoothie, gets him as well. Inox gets a kill before trading his own life in. It's a 2-on-4. Nautilus and Aurelia versus Seraph and Kez. Ships in the night, trading blows, and Seraph will go down. Kez takes the support. One-on-one. Kez cannot possibly lose this fight, I imagine, and Flares. Flash, stun, run.
Whee!
Whee!
I don't know. Aurelia's pretty
runs
fast
faster.
with the Trinity Force. Come back here, Flares.
Ezreal ult comes up when he respawns in 5 seconds.
Is he going to jump the wall?
Yep. Juke it. Where's the outplay?
Where is it? Is he going to go?
Oh, no.
Whee!
What?
He's like, where did he go?
There's a minion
no!
He can stun. It's fine. He's going to live. Watch. Stun. Q to a minion. He's fine. Oh! I was mostly right. I said Ez was going to respawn with ulti. I claim credit on that one.
That's not fighting fair.
Oh, man.
That was a 6v5 at the end of the day.
LuiGG died first and got the last kill in that team fight.
Calculated. Oh.
All right.
Glorious.
This game is awesome, by the way.
Glorious fight.
Not only is this game really fun, this game is for a spot in the NALCS, if you didn't know. These guys, how much pressure have they got to be under at this point?
But the fact that that team fight went TDK's way, even after getting chunked out at the start, LuiGG took a huge amount of damage before that even happened. And now he's sitting at about half HP. Seraph jumps in for Otter. He doesn't even have Blade of the Rune King active at this point because he just used it bot lane. And Kez jumps in with the smite for the kill. And you can see here, LuiGG's like, well, I have no HP, but I have to be a part of this fight. Amazing cleanup here for just both teams played this really well. The fact they're all just clustering in. Inox does overextend, though, and puts himself at risk as the Cassidon. You need to skirt around the fight while people and carries are still alive. You can't put your body right on top of them and get that Rift Walk damage.
It's going to be hard, yeah. It's a really tanky team overall. Well, I guess it's not actually that tanky. It's 2 tanks, but they were the last ones alive, and they did a lot of damage in that team fight. Locket picked up for Kez, helps to keep the team durable. And Seraph now has Thornmail to make life even harder for his primary enemy, this Sivir, trying to auto-attack down the double tank lineup.
Yeah. Here's the thing, too.
Yeah.
Is that... Oh, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah,
Seraph is going hard.
There's the ulti in the back line. LuiGG gets stunned up, and the fight has begun. Otter in a really bad spot will kite away from Seraph safely, and Nautilus, the first casualty, 2 kills picked up. Yeah, wow, somehow Sivir still died. Inox off over the wall. LuiGG is going to find him, trashing to buy a bit of time, but it looks like TDK able to run over this enemy team. 2-0 Dragons theirs.
Yeah, challenging Smite is a damage over time, over 3 seconds. It looked like it was just enough true damage to finish Otter off on the side of the screen. And here's the thing. Thornmail returns damage pre-mitigation. So at this point, Otter is almost doing more damage to himself than he's actually dealing to Seraph.
Yeah. And without any major lifesteal yet, he's still on just Vamp Scepter.
And when you challenging smite the person and decrease their damage output by 20%,
yeah,
the Thornmail still returns full value.
Oh, I know. It's hard. Interestingly, both of these... So I want to first preface, both teams are running double tank. Right? The junglers are both going Cinderhulk. The top laners are very durable. Seraph a bit more so, to be completely fair, but it's kind of a double tank lineup, and you could consider it maybe 3 as Nautilus kind of scales up over time. But both these AD carries are 2 of the worst auto attackers. In terms of sustained DPS, Otter's so short range, he has to kite for more often than not. Louis GG just doesn't build crit because he's Ezreal, which makes his damage output actually on the lower end. Knocking down tanks is actually really hard for both these teams.
Yeah.
And yet, they're probably the biggest threats overall in the team fight.
You want to eliminate them as soon as possible because they're the biggest threat with the easiest catch.
Yeah.
It's kind of like cost-benefit analysis, right? Do we go after the Lissandra, she'll ulti, she'll Zhonya's, or do we go after the Ezreal and try to take him out with our Kassadin? It's like, do you go after the Kassadin who can escape, or do you go after the Sivir who's trying to run around and has even less HP at this point?
Yeah. Well, right now, it's been tough for Otter. Sivir not able to put down enough damage to keep himself alive in the team fights. And the difficult thing as well is, like, do you go Rune Keeper, do you go Bloodthirster? Because he needs the lifesteal to survive, but he wants the % health damage to actually chunk down tanks, and it's a difficult situation, honestly. He needs both.
You can see Blade of the Ruined King for Louis GG.
Yeah, I like that.
Needing that kite. Flares does have his Guardian Angel completed, so if there is a flub here, he's able to come back, get a second chance, get some redemption. It seems to be all about the team fights right now, though. Those top laners are pretty much back to wet noodle fights.
Yeah. The damage is getting outstripped now by the durability pickup, so that with Seraph having the Ruin King, I feel like that matchup still goes his way. As far as items are concerned, getting one with lifesteal is pretty darn good. Scuttle Crab is going to go over to TDK. Inox, not going to get the steal. Kez, though, you can see there's some decent damage that does come out from Inox here.
Body Drop trying to force this.
He's going to ult Seraph. That is not who you want. That does nothing at all. And Body Drop might be the first kill here. Inox also forced to jump away from this one. A very afraid Kassadin into the backline they go. Flares cannot kill Louis GG. He's ulted by the Lissandra, but they're going to trade 1-for-1 support for mid laner. Inox still alive, but there's the revive from Flares. Louis GG still alive. Flares is not, though. Alive. Seraph chunked down by Trashy. Inox does have enough damage. Seraph has fallen to 2-for-2 top laners dead. NME eSports looks to be able to actually make a push happen.
Both AD carries surviving that engage.
Yeah.
It's a miracle for both of them.
The entire team went to go peel back the top laners. Both made the same adaptation in that team fight. To kill Flares and to kill Seraph.
Confirmed. Top laners cannot 1v4 despite being in this new meta where tanks are huge.
You know, one thing that's actually really massive, Otter got the red elixir here, which does lifesteal off of Ricochet and Boomerang Blades damage on champions.
All damage you deal.
And it can't be Thornmailed either. So much life is coming back to Otter right now. He gets to go Ruin King, the lowered lifesteal item, because he's getting health back from other sources. There's actually a real threat now from Sivir once that item gets completed. And he's only 1,000 gold away from completing it.
Baron setup here for both teams, even in Dragons. Close in kills, even in gold. Bases have not been cracked just yet. This is the longest game today.
Yeah. This is ridiculously intense, man. Fighting for an LCS spot, TDK having to win 2 in a row. NME eSports just need to close one more game out. And both these teams are making their opponents work for it here.
And both teams have been playing to their strengths. Camp Seraph top, Camp Inox mid for NME. They have been playing to these strengths remarkably well this game.
Even the scorelines in CS are like identical between those two. 7-4-5 on Seraph, 330 CS. 7-2-4 on Inox, 730 CS. Engage comes in, they will catch Smoothie. The squishy Annie. It's going to be Flares going in, gets the deletion, but Flares could be counter-engaged on. He's going to walk out safely. Now Trashy's the stun target, and Seraph in the back line. He gets Otter, cleanly knocks him down. Inox nearly dead. Be careful, here comes Kyle. That's going to be Trashy, forced to flash away. That's going to be Flares dying. It's 2 kills picked up, and TDK aren't done. Body Drop will likely die now to Seraph, who is on the hunt, but no, they turn back towards this Baron Nashor. Smite is up for both of their smite holders.
That's going to be a huge advantage for TDK. They're going to be able to knock down turrets with this and start getting a really big gold lead for themselves. Seraph is just slaughtering Otter.
Oh, man. You know.
Seraph's pretty much winning them this game.
Oh, yeah, he is.
And it's funny because I've said that about 6 TDK games.
Still true.
His Mundo game, where people couldn't kill him. The game where he was playing Nidalee top and just split pushed and ended it. The Lissandra where he comes in, like just this guy playing carry top laners and playing a style where the team is going to revolve around his split push seems to be working out for him. This is a much better depth charge than last time. It hits smoothly, but this backline, Kez is disrupting, and Seraph TPs into the backline.
On top of Otter.
And they ignore it. They don't collapse onto Seraph, and he just destroys Otter. And then he turns to body drop, and he actually gets to flank around this fight now as that Shyvana closes off where Trashy and Inox are trying to leave, but then body drops decides he has to go the other direction, has to get Seraph away from those guys.
What's crazy is Shyvana is one of the most, or I would say more kiteable champions in League of Legends. She can Dragon's Ascent in, she can ruin King Yu. But one Anchor Smash, one Q, and she's no longer going to be able to ever reach Sivir again. But the resources are not being spent to keep this Shyvana off the enemy eSports AD carry.
So there's actually a couple things. He buys the Elixir of Iron to give himself that tenacity. He has the Randuin's Omen on top of the Blade of the Ruined King, and the W, which is going to give him that huge burst of movement speed.
And he went Alacrity Boots.
Exactly. So he has so much movement speed to get to Otter.
Oh,
Here comes Flares,
this is the play.
They don't have
is
Seraph.
on TDK. They don't have Seraph. Teleports down. It's a 4v5. In they go. Knockout from Trash. Doesn't find too much. Gets stunned by Kyle. But here comes the re-engage. Health bar is getting lower. Sivir ult helping enemy esports chase on in. 1 kill for Inox. He's going to get Smoothie. That's 2. There's the chase on to Kez. It's going to almost be 3, but he's out of mana. The 2 for nothing. Seraph pushes down mid lane, and enemy esports have some time.
They didn't group up when they had Baron. There's no reason to split push right now when you have a stronger team fight at the moment with this, and this just immense Seraph.
Problem is there's no waves. TDK gets a turret for this team fight because there's nothing else enemy esports can do. They recall back. Seraph's going to get the turret anyway. All they can do is mop up waves and essentially go equal in gold for that.
Yeah, but not having a TP was really big. So now Flares won't have his, so Seraph gets to split push on his TP timer and then TP into the fight. And Flares either gives up that turret to Seraph, regardless of what turret it might be, and then or Seraph gets to TP into a fight for free and leave Flares in the top lane.
Absolutely true. These fights are going incredibly close, but it feels like they're fights that TDK would easily be winning overall. This feels like TDK's game. They're up 2,000 gold. Seraph is basically unstoppable.
Oh man.
Much like this.
He doesn't want to use too much to actually go after Flares.
Yeah.
Just because the fight might happen at any time and they might abuse those timers.
Well, Kez gets tickled a little bit. Flares will recall. He doesn't have a prayer of wave clearing as well as Seraph here. So wave control easily. 1.5 minutes left on Seraph's teleport. That's a big deal.
Oh, Kez.
This is risky, though.
GG, they're waiting for the juicy target. Oh, boy, they got...
Well, they have the inside track on mid lane, though. If Flares can keep from turrets going down, Challengix might use. Seraph getting some decent damage, but mid lane's getting pressured. This is everyone from TDK going top lane, but enemies pushing down the mid lane right now.
What? They're on those turrets.
Oh, no.
They're going to crack the base. They have to back.
TDK, that was the biggest misstep I've seen them make all series, and enemy esports gets the out-rotation top inhibitor kill. Or mid inhibitor kill, sorry.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That misplay right there. That miscall. Trying to put too many resources top, not checking the mid lane. And a lot of that...
They saw them clear mid is the thing.
They saw them clear mid. They saw them sit in that brush. And then they went from that brush immediately barreling down that mid lane. Unchecked turret. That capitalization, that's usually something you see TDK do to their opponent, but NME seem to be taking this very, very seriously right now.
Oh, man.
That's a bold call, because if TDK are actually thinking about what they're doing, then that's very punishable.
Yeah.
But Seraph wasn't going to TP flank that, didn't have any options to do so.
Yeah.
So not a lot of ways for them to capitalize on it as TDK. So NME and Meat just get a free inhib turret and crack the base.
It was a great rotation. And the rotation game, honestly, in this game is really interesting. It's when you start talking about the champion selects and the items that have been here. So TDK, they went first pick Annie, and right off the bat, enemy esports took Sivir. Sivir is the queen of rotational play. Big move speed ultimate, get my team wherever I want them to be, get the plays going, nice stuff here. TDK try to match that. They go Talisman of Ascension on Annie. It's not as good as a Sivir ult, but at least it's something. No Righteous Glory for either team. No second Talisman. He is, though, yeah.
He's trying to
You're going to have that second movement speed out of him for TDK. Maybe they can match Sivir ult, but otherwise, NME eSports can easily play the rotation game because they can simply run their entire team away from bad situations. Also, I think it's actually really big. QSS got picked up here for Otter. He can drop Challenging Smite and really stop a lot of what Seraph's doing to him. It's 162 damage over 3 seconds, and of course you can refresh that with Challenging Smite.
Trashy's on the split push duty right now while the TP from Flares is down, so he gets to use his ultimate to get back to the bottom, but he gets to shove out these waves. And that's the thing is TDK have to do damage control, have to control these waves right now. It's a minute for Dragon and Baron. Look at that.
Oh, they caught Kyle! Pops his hoodie, he still has self-ult, though they can't go for this one. There's the engage. Flare's stunned up. He's got GA, but Body Drop is going to live up to his name. Down he goes. Kyle's traded, though. It's a 1-for-1. There's the GA pop. Inox finds Luigi G, but can't get the kill. Into the backline goes Seraph. A flash by Otter to try to get away. They're trying to peel him out, but Otter's got nowhere to go. But first he takes down Smoothie. It's going to be the 3 kills for 2 here.
The base. They have to worry about the base a little bit.
NME are running.
TDK. Oof. Luigi G called back to deal with these super minions in the middle.
Yeah, it gives time. And it's 25 seconds on Dragon and on Baron. How long is TDK stuck inside their base? Because giant global objectives are on the map in a 3-on-2 for TDK. Both Dragon and Baron on the table.
They'll at least get Dragon off of this. The Baron would be a slightly bolder call. But
do you go bold?
It's still kind of doable, though.
Keep in mind, this is Dragon 4 for TDK. Seraph's on that side of the map. He just took down Scuttler, or is trying to at this time.
Yeah, they're going to go safe. They're going to go for the Dragon 4.
Flares is here, but he does not have Flash.
It's going to be a smite fight.
And it's a 2-on-2. There's no Ezreal.
3 smites here. Who gets it?
This is actually pretty big. It's movement speed for NME eSports, and it goes over to TDK. No engage afterwards. Out goes the team.
TDK now the next round that this Dragon comes up. If this game is going to last that long, 46 minutes in. NME eSports are 15 minutes away, tops, from being in the LCS or playing a Game 5.
Oh, man. And then your mental fortitude if you get to Game 5. That is everything it's about here. Kez misses the E. Dragon 4 is minion killing pressure, which means they can actually deal with the super minion waves quite a bit faster. Which could be very important as the mid lane inhib is still down. Flares is splitting bot lane, and that's a TP advantage, by the way. Seraph is betting his bottom inhibitor with Baron right here. 8,000 health. TP comes in for Flares. This is the fight. They don't land the anchor, but into the back line goes Trashy. A big burst, and Kyle goes down. Living GG in the target as well. Smoothie tries to disengage, but Trashy is not yet stopped. Flares goes in. Inox as well. The squishy's all going down. It's only Seraph. But Seraph, guys, that's going to be the game. NME eSports, 4 kills. This will be the 5th, and they've got minions flooding into the base.
They just jumped on Kyle, had no time to react, no Zonias, no ultimate pop. They're going to end the game right here.
Right here and right now. The most grueling Game 4 I've ever been able to cast. And NME eSports, they put it all out there. They took the engage off of Baron. The inhibitor respawn trolls them. But they're going to close the game out. NME eSports, welcome to the North American League Championship Series. What a game.
There was so much pressure in that game. It was a Game 4, it wasn't a Game 5, and you could still feel it. That's your North American LCS team.
Oh, man.
You're being auto-promoted.
Oh, man.
For summer.
You can see TDK, they are not happy, but not all hope is lost. They will be in the summer promotion tournament. They put on a good showing today. And maybe they will be joining NME eSports after all. in the North American LCS. Dignitas and Winter Fox now have to choose who they're going to face. TDK, Team Fusion. We will see them again in a few more weeks, with 2 more spots on the North American LCS on the line. But today, it's all about NME eSports. 3-1 victory over TDK. An incredibly well-earned Game 4 victory here.
And you could see it means so much to all these players. Otter and Body Drop, having been on a team together, Otter's been looking for this for 2 years plus. Body Drop, same story. Inox, he was in the LCS as a top laner. Didn't have the greatest of performances. He's wanting to rewrite that.
Yeah.
Making a name for himself as a mid laner and challenger, looking to be the best he can. And then Trashy.
Yeah.
Coming over from Europe, exerting his dominance as a jungler, and showing that he has what it takes to be in the North American LCS.
And Deficio's happy. We have another Dane in the North American LCS here with Trashy, representing Europe a little bit.
And then the #1 player in solo queue in top lane, Flares.
Yeah.
He got a taste of LCS this season.
It's true.
As a top laner for Winter Fox as a sub.
Yeah. And you mentioned these players rejoining the LCS, players like Inox. I guess even Flares if you want to count that. TDK, Seraph wants to retry, Kez wants to retry. They still got that chance in the promo tournament. Neon Tanso over on Fusion the same. But guys, there's still fight left in us. That promo tournament's going to be amazing, but NME eSports can take a sigh of relief and breathe for a bit. They've done it, and now they've got to practice. They've got to practice for the pro leagues. These guys are in, but they're going to be facing Team Solo Mid, Counter Logic Gaming, Cloud9, Team Liquid, the biggest and baddest teams in North America. You passed your first test, guys, but here is a much harder one.
And you can see that logo behind them, the North American Challenger Series. They're no longer in that.
No, not at all.
Moving on to the North American LCS, see how they perform.
I gotta say, they got a cool logo, they got cool looking jerseys.
A lot of dreams, a lot of hard work.
Oh yeah, a ton of hard work. These guys lost 2 games throughout the entire Challenger Series. Their overall record, 14-2. #1 team in Challenger, joining the LCS, replacing Team Coast. We have to see what their aspirations lie as. I mean, there's if they really improve, they really make that stride. This is the split that leads to Worlds. They're in the summer split now of the North American LCS. If they keep that skyrocketing play, if they actually start competing with the best of the best, they could pull an LMQ, join the summer split, go to Worlds.
That's true.
It happened last year.
True.
There's a real possibility for these guys. We've seen a lot of great upstart teams do amazing in their first time in the LCS.
And
H2K, semifinalist.
Yeah.
Unicorns of Love, semifinalist in their first split in the LCS.
And I've had my eye on Trashy for a while now,
Yeah.
since he was on Recent Gaming back in Europe, and then he was on H2K. I was like, when is this guy going to be in the LCS? Because he's been a phenomenal jungler that's able to play almost every style.
Yeah.
He can play control. He can play forceful junglers. He can play reactionary.
Yeah.
And he's really, really just a dominant force in every game, in every team that he's been on.
Yeah, absolutely dominant player. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun to see Trashy play. And overall, I like this NME eSports lineup. I like how they were able to adapt throughout the picks and bans, like how they were able to adapt throughout the team fights. Body Drop finally playing Peel for Otter, and Otter actually managed to solo kill Seraph at the very end of that team fight. So I want to see what these guys' brains can bring out in now an extended season in the North American LCS.
And what I really like about this NME squad is you said they only dropped 2 games during the entire Challenger Series. They never got complacent. They always wanted more, and they never underestimated their opponents. They always hit them with everything they had.
Yeah, and it turns out these guys have a whole lot to hit people with because they are your winners. And now we've got Jat and Crumbs, the Telestrator, to help us break down that Game 4 win by NME eSports.